Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Kaka Evalofia and I'm an etiquette and lifestyle educator. I'm also a lawyer and a writer. So a lot of you, after having seen the first video, a lot of you were curious about it. You wanted to know what this is about, what to expect from it. I got a ton of emails asking me, what is the art of elegance? What is it supposed to be about? Who's it for? This is the video where I would explain everything about the art of elegance and introduce our first topic. Before we jump right into the video, I have a few things to address. I just have to say this as some sort of disclaimer. I understand and respect the fact that not everyone is interested in etiquette and in elegance. That being said, this channel isn't for everyone. Who's this channel basically not for? If you believe that, being real consists in being coarse and unrefined, if you believe that one should not, invest in bettering themselves and cultivating certain qualities and traits, and that doing so is a waste of time and energy, if you believe that elegance is, a result of misogyny and patriarchy set in place by society to get women to behave a certain way, if you do not see the use, the essence, and the beauty of elegance and refinement, and you're not willing to keep an open mind, if you're highly opposed to God, to religion, spirituality, and virtues, then this entire channel isn't for you, and you can go ahead and just shut down this video and not go any farther. But if you don't fall under any of those categories, then let's get started. Forgive me for having to look down a lot because I have my phone right here. I like to have notes of things to discuss, so I will probably be looking down a lot, but I'll try to keep it at a minimum. So yeah, the first question is, what is the art of elegance? What is it about? The art of elegance is a personal project that I decided to embark on. So through this project, I want to remind women all over the world of the beauty, the grace of a timeless, elegant, classy lady, and to help and guide them as they journey to becoming that woman. That is what this project is about. Topics that will be discussed on this channel will range from, lessons and practical tips on etiquette, on refinement, on beauty, on work, on housekeeping, on, social awkwardness and social non-awkwardness, food, fitness, health, you name it. So it actually has a broad scope, and it will cover a broad range of topics. What is the structure of the art of elegance supposed to be? For each video, for now, this might change anytime, hopefully not soon. So the structure of each video would be, I would first of all, of course, give my disclaimer. Then I would introduce the drink of the day. We're trying to keep it fun, and I'm trying to stay true to myself. If you know me well as a person, you know that I love my liquids. So I'm almost always drinking something. So I would always have a drink for each video because I get thirsty really easily. But not just because I like liquids, because I also want to keep it fun and light-hearted. So we will talk about the drinks that I'm having, that I will be having, and then I'll give you fun facts about these drinks as well. Then, after the drink of the day, there is the virtue of the day, which is a virtue that I would pick and talk about and basically just discuss it, with you, share some thoughts in it and practical tips of how to practice it. As we know, there are 3 different types of virtues. There are theological virtues, they are moral virtues, and they are social virtues, human virtues. So those 3 types of virtues would be covered. We would take them one after the other in no particular order. And after the virtue of the day, I would introduce the topic of the day. So the topic of the day would be introduced, talked about, and after we've talked about that and I have discussed everything that I need to discuss about that, I would be given a task of the week. Yes, like I said, this project is supposed to help us all to become more refined, more elegant, more graceful. It doesn't make any sense that after talking the talk, we don't walk the walk. It would only, make more sense to have tasks set out so that we can actually find reason to practice what we've learned in that video. Then, if I happen to have questions from previous videos, I would also be addressing them. Except for when I have a ton of questions, then I have to film a separate video to address these questions. But that will be the structure of each video that will be put out on this channel. And that being said, I think it is only important that I define what elegance is. The dictionary definition of elegance is, and I quote, the quality of being graceful, stylish in appearance or manner. So what this means is that for you to be elegant, you have to be graceful. The two cannot be detached. They are always married together. And, of course, there is no elegance without style. So if you think that, elegance is for the drab, where I come from, it's called the Miriamakas, for the Miriamakas, and for people who are very much holier than thou, the goody two-shoes, then you got it all wrong, because you need to have style to be elegant, yeah? Another thing about elegance is it's a lifestyle, it's a choice. It's not just something well, yes, you can be born with it, but you also have to cultivate it. You also have to, at some point in your life, make that conscious decision to live elegance to the fullest, yeah? A lot of people, like I mentioned before, someone messaged me a few days back and asked me something about a post that I put up, and then, the person was, trying to pass across the message that all this is just society's, method of brainwashing women to act a certain way. And so they were implying that elegance, grace, and poise are a result of misogyny and patriarchy. And I would have to say that that is not true. And perspective matters a lot in, opinions. So I would say that from where you stand, that might be the case. But from where I and a lot of women who have decided to embrace this lifestyle where we stand, it is a choice that we've consciously made. And we've made that choice for ourselves. We're not making it for, society. We're not making it for other people. We're making it because this is the way we have chosen to be. And this is the lifestyle that we aspire to. These are the traits that we have decided to cultivate and to hone and own. The question about why should I be elegant can pop up. For whom? Who am I being elegant for? The answer to that is for yourself. The first person who directly benefits from elegance and grace is first and foremost yourself. You would find that a lot changes around you when you decide to be more elegant, when you decide to be more you. Okay? So now the thing about elegance is it is practiced in different and varying degrees, because we're all different. No two women, well, there are a few women who are alike, but not every woman is alike. Not every woman defines elegance the same way. I have a lot of friends who are, very laid back and not really bothered about a lot of things, and then, for them, they can practice elegance in the tiniest things. It could be in the way they put themselves in order. It could be the way they organize their work. It could be the way they relate with people. So elegance is not something that has a rule book of, rules. This is all the things you have to be elegant, or to be described as being elegant. First and foremost, you benefit from it. Then after you comes the others, because the people around you would definitely benefit from it. Having defined that, let's jump into today's video. We'll start by introducing the drink of the day. As you can see, it's right beside me. Today's drink is called the Blue Lagoon. It is a cocktail and it's blue, so I don't know if you're feeling this whole blue vibe. I don't know if you can see my shoes, but yeah. I chose this drink for two reasons. First off, it has vodka in it, and I kind of need that for the nerves, and because I'm actually quite nervous. This is the first time that I have filmed a video talking, into the camera, so I don't know, you probably can tell. Yeah, so the Blue Lagoon, a fun fact about it is named after a place, an actual lagoon in Iceland. That lagoon is really blue and it's supposed to look like this. So when you're trying to mix yours, make sure you have a picture of the lagoon so you can compare and see if it looks like that. Yeah, it is made up of vodka, lemonade, and blue caraco, which gives it its color. I use syrup vodka for mine and homemade lemonade for it. It is quite tasty, but the good thing about it is because it's made of lemonade, you can, if you're making your lemonade at home, you can control the amount of sugar that goes into it, and you can keep it healthy and sugar-free if you would like that as well. That is that about the drink for now. It is really tasty. Mine is really tasty. You should try it. If you'd like recipes of this drink, you can hit me up. I would email you a full recipe. If you want the particular recipe that I used, I would also email that to you as well. We'll be moving on to the virtue of the day. Today's virtue is called cheerfulness, and it's really related to the topic of the day, so it's only right that we discuss it first. What is cheerfulness? Cheerfulness is defined as the quality or state of being noticeably happy and optimistic. When you see someone and, when you encounter someone, you're able to perceive their energy before, you can make an impression of them. Sometimes you perceive that energy in just a few moments of being around them. Sometimes it takes talking to them, interacting with them in one way or the other to obtain that impression. But cheerfulness is something that hits you right away. When you encounter someone and they're cheerful people, it hits you, it just hits you. You see them and it's contagious. You just want to be around them. You don't want to leave them. You want to stay with them. You want to spend more time with them because the energy that they give off is just so positive. It's actually magical. Cheerfulness is a gift of sharing warmth and optimism. People who are negative are not cheerful people. People who are always downers are not cheerful people. People who allow themselves to be gloomy all the time or something, they're not cheerful people. People who are always nagging, people who are always petty, savage people, they're not cheerful people. Being cheerful is actually having that warmth inside you and then sharing it with other people. It is very contagious, and if you're cheerful, you can actually spread this, and people around you also will be cheerful and happy. It's a virtue that is not just, you don't contain it within yourself. You cannot say I'm a happy person inside my heart. I'm not smiling right now, but trust me, I'm a very happy-go-lucky person. No. If you're a happy person, it shows. If you're a cheerful person, it shows. You don't bottle it up inside and expect people to just know that you're cheerful. People who are genuinely cheerful can make a difference, to the atmosphere that they find themselves in wherever they go. They have the ability to lift a room, to inspire others, and to make them truly happy on the inside. So I'm always telling people that, when I spend time with very cheerful people, they have this way of making me feel better about myself. They have this way of making me feel better about life in general, People who are genuinely cheerful, they just have that superpower. It's like magic. It's really contagious. Let us do well to try to put in practice this virtue, knowing that it's not just for us, it's our own little way of contributing to the society, especially right now that a lot of things are not right, a lot of things are going wrong. But to be honest, not all of us can change policies. Not all of us are in the parliament or in the legislature. We cannot change some of these policies, but if we can be cheerful, we would definitely give them another reason to live another day, and just help them see the good around them. Yeah? Okay. This is really good. Really good. The topic of the day is charm. What is charm? Have you ever met someone and just from meeting them, from speaking with them, the only way that you can describe them is, oh, she's so charming, or he's so charming, So what is charm, really? We throw that word around a lot, but some of us really don't know what it is. The dictionary defines charm as the power or quality of delighting, attracting, and fascinating others. Those are the 4 attributes of charm. It is a power or quality, and it finds expression in delighting, in attracting, in fascinating others. Okay, so it cannot be charming to yourself. That is the essence. Like, you won't exactly be charming if you're delighting only yourself. Yeah, no. Or if you're fascinating only yourself. That's not charm. I'm always kidding around and telling people that I'm always shocking myself and fascinating myself with the kind of things I come up with. That is far from charm, really. It is far from charm. So charm is, it has to be expressed to others. Yeah, it's not just something you express inwardly, it's something you express outwardly. So it's not an internal quality, it's an external quality. So someone who is charming is very attractive. Now let us have this clear. Attractive is not just limited to physical attributes like beauty, like height, body figure, and things like that. No. Attraction, real attraction, is founded on things deeper than those transient things. They might contribute, but real attraction, even if those transient physical attributes contribute to the foundation of attraction, they're not the things that keep and sustain attraction. If you describe someone as charming, you mean they behave in a friendly, pleasant way that makes people like them. Now, let's not get it twisted. You're not trying to be charming just because you want to get people to like you. You're being charming because you want to be charming, because you see how it rubs off on other people. You cannot just live life for yourself, by yourself. Since you're going to die by yourself anyway, you might as well interact and do things for others while you're here on earth. Yeah? But how do you cultivate charm? Before you actually start trying to practice charm, you have to understand that there are 2 types of charm and charisma. The first type is the type of charm that comes from focusing solely on yourself. So this type of charm is really, I don't know how to define it, but I think all of us at some point or the other have met someone or some people that, they're just so irresistible. There's just something about them that draws you, that pulls you to them. But, at the end of the day, you realize how selfish this other person is, and how they're mostly all about themselves. They're not thinking about the next person. They're not thinking about you. I mean, if you happen to have formed a relationship with them or a friendship with them, you find that they're never listening to you. Like, I mean, sometimes you're telling them something, and then you're listening only to respond. Sometimes in the middle of your conversation, they just, oh yeah, that happened to me as well. I mean, I dealt with it this way and that way, and they're always playing the one-upper game. So you tell them, oh, hey, guess what happened to me today? And they're like, guess what happened to me today? And you're like, okay, what happened to you? You go first. And they're like, no, you go first. And you're like, okay, so I got a job. And they're like, I got a promotion. And you're like, oh, good for you. Okay. I mean, this is kind of my moment, but it's okay. You go ahead. So, I mean, those kind of people, it seems funny now that I'm talking about it. But the truth is, they're very self-absorbed. And no matter how attractive they are, they're not able to sustain the energy of the people around them. They drain those people, and that's the first type of charm. The second type of charm is the charm that focuses on others. Yeah, this other type of charm is expressed in self-service. It's expressed in concern for the good and well-being of other people. Neither of these two types of charm is practiced alone. Focus on others should outweigh focus on yourself, especially when you're spending time more with others. Yes, there are times that you should think about yourself and put yourself first, and in situations like that is when the balance is tilting towards self. But most of the time, the balance should be tilted more towards others. Why? Because when we try to think about the good of others always, and if each and every one of us is doing that, then we can be sure that at every point in time, there are at least 3 people in the world that are thinking about us and doing what is best for us at that point in time. How do you practice charm? How do you put this topic into practice in a very practical way? The first way to do that is to see humor in things. Don't be that person that is always, grouchy, not able to laugh at themselves, not able to laugh at jokes, not able to, they're always serious and defensive. Let's be honest, I can get defensive a lot of the time. It's something I'm working on. But it would do us a lot of good to learn to, just see humor, be able to, just tease yourself once in a while, tease other people, just be lighthearted at times, yeah? But the second way, even though it sounds contradictory, is, don't try to please everyone. Being a people pleaser is different from thinking about the good of other people. They're very different. Being a people pleaser is, you're not able to think things through logically. You're just, oh, okay, what do you think she wants me to do right now? Okay, then I'll do just that. Hey, what is he thinking about me right now? Would he want me to do this? Okay, let me do that. It means we're not judging things accurately. We're only judging things based off our imagination of what we feel will make other people happy. And a lot of the time, what makes people happy is not what's best for them. So it would be very prudent to be able to distinguish between the two. And being a people pleaser can sometimes backfire, because a lot of the time, you're actually being selfish because you're trying to do these things to make sure that people think highly of you, that they think well of you. And that just is impossible. Not everyone is going to like you. And that's the truth. So the third way to put this into practice is in interaction with others. Be at their energy level or even higher. Have you ever met someone, or do you know someone who, when you're talking to them, you're all excited and they're all, yeah, okay, good for you. They give you that tight smile that you're like, ugh, I wish I never shared this news with you in the first place. I mean, you know, so there are people like that, and it's not in any way charming. We all like to relate with people that we're on the same energy level with. I mean, there's this joke about, what's it called? I mean, I have to be operating under the same weather as you. Yeah, so really, I mean, we have to be operating under the same weather, really. So try to be that person who, no matter how you're feeling at that point in time, try to come outside yourself and be happy for this person when they're happy, and, you know, comfort them and feel their pain with them when they're going through sad things. No matter how all the good things that have happened to you that day, just know how to put yourself on pause for that moment and match that person's energy level at that point in time when they need you. Another way to practice this is, you know, to see the good in things. It's not just enough to see the humor in things. We also have to be those people who are optimistic, who are able to see the good in every situation. I mean, I know that, you know, we all want to be realistic and, you know, weigh things properly, but being realistic also means being able to identify the good in things, because everything is yin yang. Everything has the good attributes and then the bad attributes. So if you're only able to see the bad attributes in something, you're not a realistic person at all. So you need to be able to see the good in those things and then decide which parts of, you know, things you need to focus on at that point in time. Another way to be very charming is to be present. There's nothing as annoying as trying to have a conversation with someone who's very absent from you at that point in time. You're talking to them about something and they're scrolling through their phones, you know. You're talking to them about something and they interrupt you to tell you something totally unrelated to what you're talking about. You're talking to them and they're distracted doing other things, you know. I mean, I can understand if you have things to do and someone knows you have things to do and it decides to keep you company anyways. But even then, try to be present, try to listen. Being present and listening to people shows from your body posture. Are you, you know, so these are the little ways you can make effort to be present. Look people in the eye, listen to them, ask questions, prefer solutions or answers to their questions. Just be present, flow with them, you know. Then you cannot be charming as a woman if you don't appreciate being a woman. If you're not comfortable and happy in your own body, how do you expect to be charming and delightful? It's impossible. That's just the truth. So you have to be comfortable in your womanhood, in your femininity. You have to be comfortable in your skin. Yes. I mean, we all have our flaws and our blemishes, but if you're always like, oh, I'm too fat, or oh, I'm too skinny, or oh, I have way too much acne, oh, my skin is not clear, oh, my hair is not growing anymore. You're always whining about one thing or the other about your body. Ugh. Girl, just appreciate the good about yourself. I mean, they actually all tie together. If you're not able to appreciate your femininity, you cannot even be present when someone is trying to interact with you. So just love yourself and love others, yeah? Then finally is to always smile. You can never go wrong with smiling at people. Everyone, smile at everyone. Smile at the Smile at the security at the entrance of your office. Smile at the janitor who's cleaning the office as you're walking in. Smile at your boss. Smile at your colleagues. Smile at your friends. Smile at your frenemies at the office. You know, those people who are in competition. Smile at your adversaries. Smile at your business partners. Smile at everyone. Always use the 3 terms of charm: the please, the thank you, and the I'm sorry. You would never go wrong if it comes easy for you to say please, thank you, and I am sorry. A lot of people find it very difficult to say please. A lot of people find it even more difficult to say I'm sorry. Be able to own up to things that you have done that are not right, and not just to say you're sorry, but to make practical steps to fix them. And that is it for the topic of today. The task of this week would be to smile often. You guessed right. I'm pretty sure you guessed it even before I said it. Yes. Smile often. Smile at everyone. First of all, smiling improves your mood in general. And, it takes less nerves to smile than it takes to frown. Also, a lot of people talk about smile lines and everything, but the truth is, frown lines are also a thing. So you better choose which one is giving you lines. You might as well. So, just smile at everyone. Make a conscious effort to say good morning to, to people that you would not on a normal day interact with. Make a conscious effort to acknowledge the people that you pass by on a normal day without even remembering to acknowledge them. People like, your taxi drivers, the people that wait at the stop with you while you're waiting for your bus or train or tram or, however you travel. The doorman, the person at the checkout counter, the person in the cafeteria, just everyone. Just make sure to smile at them, say good morning, wish them a pleasant day, and just take a moment of your time to make their entire week. And so that brings us to the end of this video. I hope to see you next time at my channel for the next video of The Art of Elegance. I am Kaka Eva, and don't forget to stay graceful and elegant. Take care now.